but live them and speak them. May the meditations of our hearts and the words of my mouth be acceptable in your sight, O Lord our God. Amen.
Amen.
This is a rather famous passage that we come to this morning. Glenn, I'm sure you've heard it before, and you'll hear it again. It's a passage where the Pharisees have decided that they've got to do something about this guy Jesus. He's pretty knowledgeable. He seems to be getting quite a following. So they say to themselves, we know how we can get this guy. There's a good crowd around him. We'll send some of our disciples and some Herodians. Herodians were those who followed Herod. Herod was put there by the Roman government. So they think, okay, what we'll do is we'll ask him if people should pay taxes. The Hebrew people, the Jewish people, hated taxes because they went to the Romans. So, if Jesus says, yes, they should pay taxes, well, then everybody who's around him is going to be furious with him. If he says, no, they shouldn't pay taxes, the Herodians are there, they can go back and tell Herod that he's whipping up sedition for people not to pay their taxes, not to support the government. They've got him either way. He's going to lose. They can't believe their luck. They've come up with such a great question. So the disciples of these Pharisees come up to Jesus and they say, should we pay taxes or should we not? And Jesus is annoyed because he's already figured out what they're up to. He says, you hypocrites, you're not really coming to ask a question, you're just coming to try to catch me. But I'll tell you what, show me a coin. Oh, okay, not so bad. So they take out a coin. Now, the thing that's interesting here is that they take out a Roman coin. But they're disciples of the Pharisees. They shouldn't be carrying any Roman money on them at all. So the crowd's already noticed something's a little bit up. And Jesus says, can you tell me what image is on that coin? They say, well, it's Caesar, of course. Now anybody in the crowd who was wondering what kind of coin they took out and couldn't quite see it knows that they took out a Roman coin. And Jesus says something very interesting. He says, well, render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and render unto God what is God's. And the Pharisees are stunned. In the new RSV it says, amazed. And they went away. Suresh Kumar, why were they amazed? What amazed them about this?
Getting expert business.
Whose image are we made in? Does everybody know the famous painting by Michelangelo on the Sistine Chapel of the creation of human beings? We're created in the image of God. So, though there may be on every Roman coin an image of Caesar, Laura, on every human being, there is the image of God. So if we are to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and we're render unto God what is God's, well, we belong to God. So, Linda, we are to render ourselves unto God. God owns all. Because even Caesar has the image of God imprinted on him. And so the Pharisees are amazed because Jesus has just made it clear that even the Roman emperor answers to God. And he's done it so that they can't run back to Herod and say, you can't believe what he just said. This is shocking. He's done it to call them back to what it means to have faith. What it means to live in the world under understanding that God has created us, and David, on every one of us, is the image of God. Every single person in the world has the image of God on them. They are God's. We belong to God. And that makes every single human being special. Every single human being needs to be treated with respect because, Ed, when we treat one human being with respect, we treat God with respect. Render unto God what is God's. How little do we do that in our world? How few times do we do that? We have a world that is split in every way you could possibly imagine. And if you're different than I am, I don't like you. Man, you listen to the political debates today. The Democrats can't stand the Republicans can't stand the Democrats. The liberals can't stand the conservatives can't stand the liberals. And we say really nasty things about each other. But you know, one of the things I've learned, that conservatives have really important things to say. And liberals have really important things to say. And Democrats have really important things to say. And Republicans have really important things to say. And in Cameroon, those who back the ruling party have really important things to say. And those who back our friend have really important things to say. But the truth of the matter is, every one of us is created in the image of God. So, Rennie, every one of us is valuable. Every one of us is to be respected. Every one of us is to be listened to. Every single person in the world is important. That is what Jesus is saying this morning to the Pharisees, and it's why they are amazed and they walk away silent. Not because he says you should pay taxes to Caesar, because he doesn't really say that. The point that he's getting at is that God's image is on each and every one of us. And it makes every single person special. And it makes worth listening to every single person you come across. Looking for that specialty in them. And knowing that it's there. Because God has created that person in God's image. And looking at our world and saying, how in the world did we split our world up so badly? How in the world did we turn men against women? How in the world did we turn every single group against every other group when we're all created, Joan, in God's image? How did we do that? My gosh, that's what Jesus is trying to get at this morning. We're all valuable. We're all drawn together in the fact that we are all created in God's image. The Pharisees loved being top of the pile, being the ones in charge, being the ones with power. So what worse message could you get, Dorothy, than, you know what? You are special, but you're no more special than anybody else. And your specialness comes when you see that all people are created in God's image. And so, though the Pharisees thought they would catch Jesus, and they had found themselves a way to do it, by understanding the most basic message that God gives us, that each one of us are created in God's image, their trap does not snap, but rather they're caught in God's love. And I say, let us all be caught in that love. Amen.
Amen.